Welcome to day 74. Anti-rotation station. The core has a bunch of functions. One of them is to resist rotation. So you ever been walking in a crowded area, definitely not over the last 2 months, when somebody knocks you and you get bumped, but then you stop because your muscles engage. They do that so we don't spin around like a top and place our spine in a dangerous position. Our protocol today is going to focus on anti-rotation movements. We're going to have 3 supersets where we spend 12 minutes at each of those, performing 10 reps back and forth for each movement. Superset 1, movement a single arm bent over lateral raise. Deep hip hinge position. You're going to load one of the limbs and we're going to lift out to the side of the body for 10 repetitions before switching to the opposite side. We're going to use our free arm to create tension by making a fist and creating lots of stability through our midsection to resist going into a rotated position. Movement 2 is an asymmetrically loaded squat. So you can use a case of water, a heavy bag of flour, or rice. You're going to place it on one of the shoulders and you can use your free hand to help with some stability. You'll then descend into your squat pattern for 10 repetitions before switching that load onto the opposite side for an additional 10 reps. The load here is going to try to get our body to go into this lateral flexion position, but we're going to flex our abdominals and say no, and stay nice and strong and stable through the midsection and the hips. Superset 2. First movement is a unilaterally loaded glute march. So we're going to load one side of the body. Shoulders are going to go up, back, down, so they're set in the position we want them in. We're then going to remove the implement so it's a little bit away from the side of the torso. I'm going to create tension with my free arm, and then I'm going to perform my march. As high as I can with my knee, back down, back down, back down. The entire time ensuring that I'm not giving into any flexion or rotation. Movement 2 is an asymmetrical push-up. We're going to have one hand a little bit higher and one hand a little bit lower. We're going to descend into our push-up, accumulating 10 repetitions, and then we're going to change our hand position to the opposite stance for another 10 reps. We can absolutely perform this from the knees or elevated against furniture or the wall. Superset number 3, our first movement, single leg glute bridge with hip abduction. So our non-lifting leg, we're going to stick up into the air, we're going to hold this position, and we're going to open that hip up as wide to the side of the body as we feel comfortable, and then add it back to the midline. Hip bridge, lean away from the body. The lever, as it gets farther away from the midline, wants us to go, ah, but we're gonna keep lots of tension through the hips and the trunk and resist that need to rotate. Our second movement here is a single arm row from a plank position. We can execute this from the floor, wide stance with the feet so we have a larger base of support, and we're going to row 10 on one arm and then 10 on the opposite. Having this asymmetrical load is going to want to make us but we're going to again stay tight and rigid through the midsection to resist that need to rotate. You can absolutely elevate this from a higher surface and place the forearm on the surface that you've chosen to create a little bit more stability in a bigger surface area and still complete the same movement. If your body resisted rotation today, give our video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel.